So I had a question on how we filter our rainwater coming from our rainwater system into the camper. And so I thought I'd take you on a little tour of how we've got it filtering right now. This is how we currently have our rain catchment system. It is just coming off of, if I remember correctly, 11 by 11 size. This is gonna be our outdoor kitchen eventually. So it comes off of here, and then we have these little gutter guards. And then a leaf eater. This thing is great. It picks up all of the big particles. Then it goes down into our first flush that we're able to empty out. And then once it fills up, all of the tiny debris should hopefully be down there. And then your clean water is gonna flush into the tank. So hopefully everything in here has as very little debris as possible. And then since we only have one tank set up here and our camper is way over there, we are for now just pumping this water into secondary tanks way up there. So once this tank is full, I think we're about halfway, then I just pump it up into that tank up there, and I'll show you that. So the rainwater system is set up down there. From there, I've got hose pipes ran. I got me a little rinky-dink Harbor Freight pump doing its best, and it's kicking that water all the way up here. And then once it gets up here, all I have on the end of this hose pipe is one of these Taste Pure water filters, and then I also have the extra adapter. This filters down to like there's 5 microns is what this filters down to, and then this filters out all of the contaminants. And then since this rainwater has actually been sitting for a little bit, I went ahead and put a little bit of bleach in this tank. So the water is coming out clear. It's a little bit on the chlorine side, but I think after a couple of days, it'll probably settle down. And then once we go into here, I use that same pump and I switch it around to pump out of this bottom of here into our freshwater connection, since we don't have a pressurized line able to go into the city water connection all the time for now. So we just fill up our 40 gallon, might be 50 gallon freshwater connection tank from this tank. And I will put this filter on the end of that hose pipe as well. So then this water is technically being filtered twice. So we're currently not drinking any of this water or using it to cook with. I'm strictly using it for washing dishes, taking showers, and using toilets. So I feel comfortable with this method. If we were to filter it, of course, I'd run it through my Berkey, but I also probably want to get one of those strip tests just to make sure there's nothing in there before we start consuming it. So for now, our drinking and cooking water either comes from the mountain spring up the road, or if it's not running, which it hasn't been lately, running all that great, then we just fill it up at the QT gas station, because you can fill up 5 gallon containers for $1. So we'll take like 2 or 3 of those 5 gallon jugs and fill them up for $1, and then we just store them here and use them as we need drinking water. If we were to go with a more permanent setup, say we built the cabin, ended up not getting the well, and decided to strictly do a rainwater collection pumping into the cabin, I'd probably go with something a little bit more permanent than this Taste Pure filter. I'd probably go along the lines of those 3 larger canister styles that you can put the carbon filters in. That would probably be the way that I go if we decide not to get a well, which we're still kind of up in the air. For those that don't follow me on other accounts, we do have our name on the list to get a well, but in our area they are 6 months behind, and it's going to cost us upwards of anywhere between $10,000 to $16,000. So we've got our name on the list, but if it comes 4 or 5 months and we're already building the cabin and this rainwater system works out for us, we may just continue to stick with it and not even bother with a deep well and just go from there. So anywho, I'm gonna finish pumping our water into here and getting us ready, because it looks like we are in for another snowstorm. So I'm gonna try to get this done before it freezes, and we'll see y'all later.